What is the meaning of goodness comes from Allah and badness comes from His servants? To be able to understand the fact goodness comes from Allah and badness comes from His servants, let us use the example of binoculars that are used to zoom in facts. Suppose that a king wanted one of his subjects to build a magnificent mosque, and he gave 1,000 gold coins to his subject to build it. This person built a wonderful mosque with 1,000 gold coins. Can this person, who worked like a laborer and did not pay the expenses with his own money, claim that he built this mosque and that it belonged to him? Definitely not. Similarly, people who think conscientiously accept that this mosque does not belong to this ordinary person. Yes, this person worked in the construction of this mosque, but both the command for the construction and the expenses for the construction, worth 1,000 gold coins, belonged to the king. If the king had not commanded him to make the mosque, and he had not given him 1,000 gold coins that were used for the construction, this mosque would have never been made. Therefore, we can say this mosque belongs to the king. However, if this person had built a tavern for himself instead of the mosque with 1,000 gold coins that was given for the mosque, then the tavern would have belonged to him, and he would have been responsible for that action, for he would have misused the thing entrusted to him and used it in the construction of the tavern. In this case, he cannot say, "I made this tavern with the gold coins of the king." The responsibility belongs to the king, and the tavern is the property of the king. He cannot claim it because the king did not give him the gold coins to make a tavern. The gold coins given to him were for a mosque, not for a tavern. However, he betrayed the king and made this tavern with those gold coins. Therefore, the claim of the man, "The mosque is mine, I have made it," about the ownership of the mosque is an invalid claim. Likewise, the claim of the man, "I made it with the gold coins of the king, therefore the tavern is the property of the king," about the ownership of the tavern is also an invalid claim. The truth is this: the mosque belongs to the king because it was made with the command of him. However, the tavern belongs to the man because he built it instead of the mosque, like a thief. Now we will explain the facts in the metaphor. The king in the metaphor is Allah, the Sultan of the pre-eternity, post-eternity, and the universe. That person is us, namely man. 1,000 gold coins are all physical and spiritual gifts, such as organs, senses, given to man. The mosque is good deeds and worship. The tavern represents bad deeds and sins. Yes, good deeds belong to Allah. Badness belongs to us because we do all of the good deeds thanks to the benefaction that is given to us by Allah. For example, when we read the Holy Quran, the tongue with which we read the Holy Quran belongs to Allah. The vocal cords in this tongue belong to Allah. The molecules that distribute the voice from the vocal cords through the air belong to Allah. The eyes through which we look at the Holy Quran belong to Allah. It is Allah who gives the eyes the ability to see. Allah creates the light, and the light helps eyes see. The Holy Quran which we read is the word and the book of Allah. The paper on which the Holy Quran was written and the ink in that paper belong to Allah. The mind, enabling us to understand the Holy Quran, and the memory belongs to Allah. It is Allah who commands us to read the Holy Quran. It is Allah who gives love to our hearts to read the Holy Quran. In short, all necessary things that we cannot count to read the Holy Quran belong to Allah. However, we have only partial free will, and our partial free will does not have the ability to create. We only want to read the Holy Quran by our partial free will. Everything else belongs to Allah. Therefore, how can we say, we read the Holy Quran and this beauty belongs to us? Is our duty not to thank Allah with modesty and sincerity because Allah created this good deed? However, if we use the gifts of the eyes and tongue given to us by reading forbidden and sinful things instead of the Quran, then does our status not resemble the ordinary subject who built a tavern with 1,000 gold coins entrusted to him for the construction of a mosque? In the example, the man made a tavern with 1,000 gold coins entrusted for the construction of a mosque, and he became responsible for this deed. Likewise, if we use the gifts such as the eyes, tongue, and mind in the wrong way, we will be regarded to be the only owner of this sin. Or let us think that we gave alms to a poor person. What is our share in this good deed? Firstly, Allah created the poor man to whom we gave alms, and Allah enabled us to meet the poor man. Allah bestowed us the goods that we gave as alms. Allah created the hand with which we gave alms. Allah put the senses such as kindness and grace into our hearts. Because of our alms, Allah increased our goods. In short, all necessary conditions to give alms were created by Allah. We only have a desire to give alms to the poor people. In fact, even this desire belongs to Allah. Despite this fact, saying, "I helped this poor man, this good deed belongs to me," is a meaningless and an absurd claim. Any rational person understands it. However, if we buy alcohol instead of giving alms to that poor man, or if we gamble, or if we buy any forbidden thing, then we become responsible because these gifts were not given to us for bad deeds. We will be regarded to have betrayed the gifts. Only we will be responsible for it, and this sin belongs to us. Now, you should compare all of the other good deeds and beauties to those two examples. Let us think of all the necessary causes and conditions for the creation of them. Then look at what you have. Your partial free will, which does not have any ability to create, and see that these good deeds cannot be created by our partial free will. So, accept that all goodness and rewards come from Allah, and they belong to Allah. Thank Allah who created these good deeds for you.